Boy, oh boy, do we have quite a bit to talk about because whew, this team has a lot going on right now. There's some injuries, stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely gonna get to it today for sure, for sure. Legion of Knicks, yo, what's going on, Legion of Knicks? It's good to see you, my man. Good to see you in here. Salute to you. Welcome. We're going to start the show at 7 p.m. Eastern. Again, everybody that wants to call in is 515-602-9639, 515-602-9639. You can actually call in right now. The lines are open, you know what I'm saying? So if you want to get on the show early, I know a lot of people like to get on the show early, you know what I'm saying? Call in and, you know what I'm saying? Be ready. So, call in to the show now if you'd like to, 515-602-9639. Call in and, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk. Let's talk about this team right now. Cut Jr. Yo, what's going on, Cut Jr.? Good to see you in here. Salute to you, Leon. What's going on with you, Leon? Salute to you. Again, everybody wants to call in, 515-602-9639. Call in. You know what I'm saying? Let me know how you feel about this game. I'll be asking a lot of questions. Portway, yo, what's going on with you? Salute to you, my man. 1 second, folks. I'm just going to share the stream right here. Make sure that everybody is in the know. You know what I'm saying? Make sure everyone is in the know that the stream is going on. I hope everyone's having a good day. I hope everything's going well for everybody. Oh man, this is gonna be a crazy one. It's gonna be a real crazy one, folks. Let me tell you, there's a lot going on with this football team right now. Let's see. Boom. Boom. Man. Oh, man. It's going to get so crazy. Again, everybody, call in. 515-602-9639. Call in. You know what I'm saying? We definitely going to talk about this, this game that we got coming. So, lot to talk about, man. Lots of stuff to talk about. So, you know what I mean? Oh, man. Niger says, hey, good salute to you, Niger. Good to see you in here. Says, LBJ, would you draft Lawrence if you have the number 1 pick? I know Darnold's your boy, and it wouldn't be an easy decision. Man, I've talked about this a couple times. I would not. I would trade down and take the capital to build the football team. But, I know a lot of people that feel differently. But I'm really, really big on, bettering this team any way that we can. And I believe that is a big way that we could do it. So that's what I would choose to do. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody thinks like that, but I do. Because I think that would really, truly benefit us. 1 second, folks. I'm going to do this. Man. Oh, it gets crazy, man. Yeah, so we're going to get started at 7 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern, so that's going to be in a little bit of a second, folks. We're definitely going to talk about, everything that's going on here. So, boom, boom, boom. Let me move that. So, you know what I'm saying? So we definitely going to get into it again. 515-602-9639. Please call in. And I have quite a bit of callers already in the line. So if you keep, if you call in, just be patient. You know what I'm saying? The show's going to be quite a bit. I'll get to everybody. We'll definitely talk about the Jets and talk about everything that we have going on. You know what I'm saying? So just please be patient if you're on the line. You know what I mean? Bum, 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 bum. So, you know what I'm saying? But I hope everyone's day is going on and going well. Let me get back down here. Ara, salute to you. Good to see you in here. So hold on, folks. I gotta pause the show really quickly, or I have to pause the audio. So I'll be right back. I gotta connect this. Hold on a second.
Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe. Let me tell you. Today we got a lot to talk about. We got a Jets team that's going in. We're going to be matching up with the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that is offensively high-powered. And I'm talking, they are serious business. They do not play any games. There's no jokes. If you do not come out prepared against that football team, they will put up 40 on you before you can blink an eye. There's just a lot to talk about this football team. We got to see what's going on. We have quite a bit of injuries as well. So listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. So let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. So I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. So without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and get into the show. I'm fired up. So listen, we're matched up against the Chiefs this week. We got a lot going on. We got guys that are already out. Blake Cashman, he's going to be out. He's dealing with an injury. Bradley McDougald as well. The guy we got in the trade for Jamal Adams, who's kind of been up and down in his play. He's going to be out. Perryman's going to be out as well. That's another hit at our wide receiver position. Crowder out for yet another game too. That's another hit to our wide receiver position. And it's looking pretty doubtful that Ficken is going to be out there. So we'll see what happens. There's so many things, that's kind of going against us in this football game. But look, this just Chiefs team coming in, especially with a overly motivated Le'Veon Bell, who cannot wait. I'm sure he cannot wait to rip us open. We have to be prepared and ready. There is no excuses, for us to go out there, come and be lackadaisical, not be prepared, look like we have no clue of what we're doing. We cannot have that. And we're definitely going to get into that. But before we go there, as everyone knows, I'm wearing pink because I'm a big supporter of the Susie G. Komen Foundation, big supporter of bringing the fight to breast cancer. So tonight we're going to have on a woman named Arnidra Jordan. She's going to share with us, what makes her so passionate about spreading awareness about breast cancer. And also she's going to talk to us a bit about the circle of promise, that we're Susie G. Komen Foundation as well. So we're going to have her come on and, tell us exactly what's going on there and how we can get involved too. So Arnidra, how are you doing today? Welcome to the Long Beach Joe Show.
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm all right. So, my first question for you is, can you tell us what makes you so passionate about spreading breast cancer awareness?
Well, 10 years ago, I can't believe it's been 10 years. It was only supposed to be a 6-month project, but 10 years ago, I was volunteering for Susan G. Komen, and they received some money from Anthem Blue Cross. And they asked me to come on as a consultant to continue the work I was doing as a volunteer. And I was volunteering because my daughter was older and I didn't have anything to do. She was in middle school, high school, and they have their own lives. And so I went and I started volunteering. And as we started actually getting women into services, we realized that African-American women were 70% more likely to succumb to breast cancer in Long Beach, California, and that women in Orange County had insurance but wasn't going to get their mammograms. So we decided to change the trajectory of the outcome of African-American women getting mammograms, the way they get treatment, and also changing the way they think about themselves and putting themselves first. And that's what my passion mostly is to make sure African-American women know that it's okay to put yourself first, because if you don't put yourself first, then you won't have anything to give to anyone else.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
How important is early detection, Ms. Jordan?
So it's important because if you are diagnosed at stage 1 or 2, you will live past the 5-year survival rate. If you are diagnosed at stage 3 and 4, the treatment is more aggressive and you might succumb to the disease, or you might be metastatic and you'll be on medication for your entire life. So it's important that we take care of ourselves. It's important that we get into treatment early. A lot of times insurance companies, you can be diagnosed in May and still not be in treatment in October. So making sure that you get into treatment, making sure that you talk to your friends and that you figure out a plan that works best for you. So if you need a mammogram on your birthday, perfect. If you want a mammogram on some other special occasion, perfect. But just making sure that you get a mammogram and that you know the services that are out there to get the mammograms for free, and not just a mammogram. If you need an MRI, if you need an ultrasound, if you need some help working through the navigation system, that's what we do in the Circle of Promise initiative.
Yeah. Again, everyone listening, we're speaking with Miss Arnedra Jordan of Susie G. Coleman Foundation. She's part of the Circle of Promise. Miss Coleman, can you explain to us exactly what the Circle of Promise is and how you folks impact the community?
So the Circle of Promise initiative is called the African American Initiative originally, and then we went to the Circle of Promise because Susan G. Coleman's, a little background about Susan G. Coleman. Her sister, Nancy Brinker, made a promise to her that she would help women when her sister, Susan G. Coleman, was dying of breast cancer. So it's a promise that we've made to African American women to help them navigate the system, to make sure that our disparity rates, that we close the gap on the barriers within the disparity rates, meaning that we don't want to see African American women die to a disease that we know that cancer is not preventable, but we know there are other measures we can take. We can eat healthier. I was just looking at a webinar this morning on our metastatic, and it talked about sugar and how sugar attacks cancer. So if you know that you have breast cancer, not to eat sugar. And I was like, oh, as much as I love a slice of cake. So, and they're not saying don't eat cake in moderation. You can eat it in moderation. They're saying don't eat the whole cake. And it was a really, really good webinar this morning on our metastatic. We're having a whole month of metastatic, and you can watch webinars. And it was really good about how if you're healthy, your body will, even if you're getting chemo, if you're getting radiation, your body's more likely to come back and be able to fight off cancer versus if you aren't as healthy, your body may succumb to the disease. Same thing with COVID. If you're going through chemo and you have a great eating regimen, your body might not succumb to the disease like it would if you have an underlying illness. So just making sure that African American women know that, knowing that we're last at everything. We're last at obesity. We're last comes to heart disease. We're just last. So making sure that African American women know that we need to put ourselves first so that we can come off all the barriers won't affect us. Birth, when you look at our birth rates, our death rates, so everything. And just making sure that African American women also know that there's a place for them to come and see someone who looks like them. Clinical trial, see someone who I can refer them to that looks like them that went through a clinical trial. So that's what it's for. And the services are open to anyone. I mean, if you call me, it doesn't matter if you're black, yellow, green, or white. We are going to help you. We're just making sure that because we're so low on the spectrum that we put more emphasis on African American women.
Yes, and again, I want to thank you for everything that you're doing, Ms. Jordan. The Circle of Promise, you folks are phenomenal over there. Now, my last question for you is, how can our listeners get involved with the Susie G. Coleman and the Circle of Promise? How can they donate, whether it be their time or their money? How can they do that?
So there's a couple of ways. They can go to our website, www.colemanlacounty.org, and donate. We also, tomorrow they can watch, it's called Taps for the Cure. It's our treatment assistance program. We're taking donations. It's going to be on Channel 7 at 6 o'clock p.m. because we have a Lift for the Cure ride where we help you get to and from your doctor's appointments. And you can also get your rent and et cetera paid. So that number, and it's only for breast cancer survivors only. If you know someone who needs assistance, that number is 1-877-GO-COLEMAN. If someone needs help navigating through the system or they need a free mammogram, they can contact me. My email is ajordan@colemanlacounty.org, and I'll give my cell phone number, which is 310-722-6594. And it doesn't matter where you live. We will help you find care. That's our job. My main job is to help LA County cut the disparity rates, but we will help you find care.
Yes. Well, thank you again for joining us, Mrs. Jordan. It was phenomenal to speak to you, and we'll just continue. On my program, I tell everyone, I'm a big Susie G. Komen supporter. I have links as well. If anyone, is listening, you can go across my social media as well. All the links are there to the fundraiser page where you folks can donate. All of that money goes directly to the Susie G. Komen Foundation, and we're going to keep fighting. And again, right. I want to thank you for coming on and spreading breast cancer awareness, to all my listeners and me as well.
And I just want to make one clarification. Mm-hmm. It's on our TAPS, our Treatment for Assistance Program for donations, is on Channel 2 or Channel 9 at 2 o'clock p.m. tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Channel 9 at 2 o'clock p.m. Yes. Okay. All right.
Thank you
for having me.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You have a good night.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Phenomenal call with Miss Arnidra Jordan, again, of the Susie G. Komen Foundation. It's a great foundation to get involved in. Again, I'm a big supporter of the fight against breast cancer, bringing helping along the research as well, and bringing the fight to breast cancer, something that's touched me and my family personally as well. So I love to, spread breast cancer awareness and let people know, hey, this is a serious business and everyone needs to get involved. Again, if you're listening to me, no matter where you're listening to me from, if you go to all my social media contacts everywhere, even in the description of my videos, it's a link down there. Please go down there and donate if you can. If you can't, please spread it across your social media platforms so we can continue to, push it out there and let people know, hey, this is serious business. Get involved any way that you can. So again, I want to thank Ms. Jordan for coming on from the Susie G. Komen Foundation Circle of Promise. It was phenomenal to speak with her. And now, oh boy, we're back. We're back to talking about the New York Jets, huh? Listen, I'll be coming to the callers in just a second. This is a game where we're going to match up with the Chiefs and their serious business. All right. This is a game where we're having Daryl Loggins calling the offensive plays yet again this week. Adam Gase came out earlier and talked about it. We're missing a couple guys too, as well, due to injuries, as I spoke about. Blake Cashman, Bradley McDougald, Perryman, Crowder, Ficken looks like he's not going to play. So things are shaking about, and we're going up against a football team that is ready to go. They come out, they're prepared, they're deadly offensively. Their defense can also rush the passer and move things around as well. And not only that, we're facing a Le'Veon Bell that we released, that we casted out, and he's coming in with a belly full of fire. Okay. He's coming in with a belly full of fire. And if you think that Le'Veon Bell is coming in to do nothing against us, you're out of your damn mind. He's going to try to run for 400 yards, I guarantee you. Oh, man, this is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a tough one. And let me tell you something. If nothing exposes the ineptitude of Adam Gase and his offensive play calling staff or his offensive staff, this game will. Because I guarantee you that if Andy Reid can burn us using him, utilizing Le'Veon Bell's skill set, his pass catching, him being able to run the ball, his blocking as well, believe me, he's going to showcase exactly what Le'Veon Bell can do. And Le'Veon can't wait either. So I'm going to get to the callers because I want to get you folks' thoughts. Again, 515-602-9639. Please call in. Do not curse on my show. I know that this is a frustrating time. I know everyone's frustrated with the record of our football team currently. Do not call in cursing in my show. I will get you out of here faster than Adam Gase can call a screen on 3rd and 45. Come on, folks, you got to laugh. Come on. You guys got to laugh. All right, we're going to go to the first caller, 347. Give me your thoughts on this Jets matchup with the Kansas City Chiefs and how you're feeling, about this game going into it.
Long Beach Joe. I feel like I haven't spoken to you in forever, my friend.
How's it going, Rich? How are you doing today, my man?
Good. I'm sorry that I haven't been around lately. I've been working some extra shifts, and I took one especially on Sunday afternoon, so I could purposely skip watching that game, and for good reason.
It was rough, Rich. Let me tell you, it was rough. Here we are. It was rough.
Oh, no. I saw the highlights. So here we are. at the Madden Bowl.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't know what the Madden Bowl is, I mentioned it a couple of weeks on this program. This is when you're learning how to play Madden for the first time as a kid, and you pick the best team, which is the Kansas City Chiefs, to play the crappiest team, which is the New York Jets, and you put the difficulty all the way down to very easy, which is exactly what's happened right here. Because offense, you have nobody to throw the ball to. Defense, they couldn't get it together no matter what happens. So this is going to be a walk in the park.
Wow.
But before we talk about the game, because I shared this with you earlier, and every time I call into your show, I like to a little funny Jets story beforehand. A gentleman from the New York Post wrote a story that was published a couple days back where Mike McCagnon, the worst GM in history, had the chance to pick Patrick Mahomes in the 2017 draft with the 6th overall pick. And he passed on Patrick Mahomes, yes, the same one that we're going to play this Sunday, folks, because he thought that Christian Hackenberg was going to be the future franchise quarterback of the New York Jets.
Oh, man. Let me tell you something.
Joe, I just have one question for you.
Yeah.
Can you guess how many games Christian Hackenberg ever played for the Jets?
As a
ever played in the NFL?
Oh, as a starter, 0. Not as he played nothing as a starter here with us.
So we all have something in common with Christian Hackenberg as Jets fans. None of us have ever played starter in the NFL.
Well, here's
Patrick Mahomes went on to the MVP. Should have went to the Super Bowl that year, but it's okay because he got it right last year. And now this week he gets a bye on top of whatever bye his team gets in another week in this season. Because this is a bye week for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to just not risk Mahomes having to throw deep or anything like that, and they're just going to let the running game do the talking, and with good reason.
Listen, and Rich, I hear you. First off, again, I want to thank you for calling in. You know, I love talking to you about this football team. Listen, Mike McCagnon was horrific. I mean, you want to talk about bad? That was really bad. At the time, you know, taking Christian Hackenberg in the second round was one of the biggest mistakes I think I've ever seen. I didn't like that pick whatsoever. There were guys in that round that I thought were, you know, better fit for us in our situation, particularly our offensive linemen. We passed on a lot of guys. Cody Whitehair was in that. I remember screaming about him before that draft. He went on to make, you know, Pro Bowls as well. We passed on him to draft Christian Hackenberg. It was completely ridiculous. He also passed on Alvin Kamara as well. You were supposed to trade up and get him. You can, everybody is listening, you can actually go look this up. He decided to stay pat in that draft, and the deal was almost done. We would have had Alvin Kamara. He decided to stay where he was, or he traded down and got some more picks, and then he wanted to get Chad Hansen or Darius Stewart, two guys who never did anything for us. And the rest of the staff was screaming for us to get Alvin Kamara. He was horrific. Like he was just terrible at every, you know, part of his job. It was completely ridiculous. But just coming back into this game, Rich, because a lot of things that you talked about, man, us having no one to throw the ball to, because we know that Perryman's not playing, Crowder's not playing, but there is a guy that I think that we could get the ball to that we're all excited about, and that's Denzel Mims. Here's a kid that we saw show us some passion in the first game, show us that he had something, some real talent, but then in the second half of that game was completely unutilized, right? So I'm looking at you, Rich, and I'm saying, hey, isn't this the game where you're banged up at wide receiver, you got this young kid in there, isn't this the game where we should see him get a ton of catches and a ton of work coming his way?
It should be. And another weapon that I don't know why they don't use him more, because he's like the only one that's caught touchdown passes for this team. That kid Berrios. Yeah. Why don't we use him more?
Yeah.
But this should be the game where Sam Darnold gets familiar with this wide receiver, because now that he's like our only hope in terms of getting yards through the passing game, then this should be the game where things break open. I mean, let's hope that whatever they did in the first half last week, they could do in the second half this week.
Mm-hmm.
If we're only going to play quarters of football in terms of offense. So let's do it when the quarters matter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that brings
the guy who's going to go ahead.
Yeah, and that brings me to my next question for you is you talked about that, the fact that, hey, look, we're not finishing games. We're coming in, we're playing one half, and then the next half, we're just kind of like, oh, okay, well, hey, if you make an adjustment, we're dead. There's nothing we could really do. And so, again, we're coming into this week where Adam Gase has let everybody know, hey, Daryl Loggins is the guy calling the plays. I'm just, standing here. And so I'm looking at this situation where, like, okay, Daryl Loggins is calling it again. Is this going to be the week where we're going to see those adjustments being made? And that's going to be my question for you, Rich, is what are your thoughts about Daryl Loggins calling the offensive plays yet again this week? So he's the guy putting it together. And do you think that this week we'll see the adjustment? Because if we don't, we're going to be dead in the water against the Chiefs, right?
First of all, we only looked brilliant in the first half last week because we were playing an injured Buffalo team.
Oh.
Okay? I don't know what happened to Josh Allen, but they could not get the ball in the end zone in terms of a touchdown.
Yeah.
But the overall point being is that if we have this gentleman calling plays again, and hopefully he says to himself, okay, I saw this work and this work, so let's try it out, because you're playing a fully stocked Kansas City team on both sides of the ball here. This isn't, well, we just have to match them point for point because they don't have a good defense. No, they're good. That's why everybody rates them as 100% going back to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
So this is the time for whatever happened, whatever worked last week in the first quarter, better said, against the Bills, for us to try it again, because or at least build more plays around that, because again, we're short a lot of men. We don't have a lot of people to throw it to. Frank Gore cannot run the ball forever. So let's hope that we get things in a better perspective, because if not, then this game will be over by halftime, which I kind of suspect will be anyway. But just, let's just pretend that we have a chance of making it interesting before the half.
Yeah. And how concerned are you about Le'Veon Bell, man? Because you already know he's coming in. He's going to be fired up. How many yards do you think he's going to run for against us?
Well, like I said, if I'm Andy Reid and I know that I'm playing the Jets, right, why am I going to make Patrick Mahomes throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns or whatever it is? I'm going to let him rest it out. Hey, listen, run the ball. This guy wants to run the ball against them badly anyway. So I predict he'll be in the triple digits. I'm not going to say some ridiculous number like, oh, he's going to have 250. No.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be in the triple digits. Let's say 100 and something.
Yeah.
And he's gonna put on a show, which hopefully, when Christopher Johnson is watching this and Woody Johnson is watching this, they'll say, hey, wait, wasn't that the guy that was on our team a few weeks ago? Yeah, look what he's doing for that team now. And hopefully they get it to their head. Adam Gase, you're an idiot. Get out.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what's saving Adam Gase right now, honestly, is that he has the story of, well, I don't have a full football team here because I have injuries every week. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, the way that I see this game is this is just an exhibition for the Chiefs, and this is just hopefully that Eric Bieniemy, while he's sitting there calling offensive plays for the Chiefs, his heart grows 3 sizes, and he says that he wants to come work here next year. That's all I hope.
So my final question for you, Rich, and again, I want to thank you for calling in. My final question for you is, what is your final score prediction for this football game?
Kansas City Chiefs, 42.
Whoa.
New York Jets, 3, just because I just want to be nice.
Oh, my God.
I'm almost sure that it's
All right. Well, Rich, man, listen, I want to thank you for... Go ahead.
Le'Veon Bell gets named player of the game.
Oh.
There you go. That's all I have to say.
All right. Thank you for calling in, Rich. I hear you, man. I hear your frustration. It was phenomenal to speak to you, man. When I have my next show, please call in. I love talking to you. Ooh.
Great speaking to you too, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Have a good one. Woo. Rich calling in, letting it be known. 42-3 was his prediction. I mean, it is what it is. This is a high-powered Chiefs offense, and let me tell you, it could happen. If we don't come out and we don't take care of business, they've run it up on better teams. We've seen it. We've seen them undress live, in person. We've seen them undress football teams live in primetime games like it's nothing. I'm talking them absolutely put you away before the half. So we've got to be on our P's and Q's against them. We've got to come out and put together quite an offensive game plan, and our defense has got to be solid as well. I'm going to go to the chat really quickly for everybody listening to me. Live on Blog Talk Radio. I also live stream during my radio show too. So my savages in the chat, they love going crazy. So I like going back and forth with them as well. I'll get back to my callers in just a second. Jet Black in the chat says, I love how Andy Reid is taking us seriously. Listen, Jet, it's serious business. Okay. Andy Reid is a pro's pro. Like, he's a coach for real, for real. He's not a joke. He's not, taking anyone lightly. He's not joking about anything. This guy comes in every single week to put his work in. So he takes everybody seriously. He doesn't overlook anybody. He's not going to overlook you because you're a bad team or your record looks like a certain way. He's coming in and he's going to do what it takes. And that's why they're winners. That's why they won a Super Bowl, because he's all about detail. He's all about making sure you're prepared, and he's not going to be surprised no matter how much the outside noise is telling him, hey, don't mind it, don't pay attention. No, he's going to pay attention, and he's going to dial it up on you. Jamal Damon in the chat, salute to you, Jamal. Jamal says, Hackenberg was so bad that even on practice throws on the sideline, he skipped it. Yeah, I remember those days, kids. I remember those Hackenberg days. Whew, that was a horrific pick. I'm going to get back to the callers. Goodness gracious. Thank goodness Mike McCagnon is gone. Oh my God. I mean, you want to talk about bad? That guy was bad, all right? Like, we're going to get back to these callers. Elias, I'm coming to you, my man. I want you to give me your thoughts on this game that the Jets have coming up against the Chiefs, man. And what are your expectations of Sam Darnold in this game?
Minus 19.5. That's the point spread. And I barely even know how sports betting works. I just know minus 19.5 is really bad.
Yeah,
That's how I'll start.
First off, I want to thank you for calling in, Elias. Listen, I hear you. You read anything. Like you said the point spread. I'm not a big point spread guy. I'm not a big, betting on games or anything like that. But let me tell you, you listen to any analyst, they'll tell you we don't have a shot. That's what they'll say. That's what they'll say. I love the green through and through, so I'm trying to ride with them right now. But you listen to anyone outside of, anyone that's wearing this green, they'll tell you this is a walk in the park for the Chiefs. They're gonna have an easy day. Rich just said it's a scrimmage game for them. It's nothing. This is just a practice game. But I'm looking at this situation.
Preseason game for them. All the starters are going to be pulled in the third quarter. The preseason game. They'll probably pull all the. We'll see Matt Moore.
Yeah. I'm looking at this situation and I'm saying, hey, this is a team that still needs to come out and fight. This Jets team, that's why we play on Sundays, okay? The game is just not, going to end on paper. We come out, you got to play, you got to fight hard. And so I'm looking at this situation and I'm saying, with Perryman and Crowder out, shouldn't we see a big helping of Denzel Mims this week? Shouldn't we see this guy be utilized from the first half to the second half? He should get a ton of work coming his way.
I honestly think he will. Like, as stupid as, as big of an idiot that Adam Gase is, I talked about how, like you asked me, I think last time, is like, you think he's going to use Perry, P. Ryan. Mm-hmm. I was like, no, he's got Frank Gore. But who else is there besides Mims? Freaking Jeff Smith.
Yeah.
Mims should get some good targets. I think, he played decent in the first half, especially being covered by Tre'Davious White, who's an elite corner, top 3 corner, arguably. So, I think Mims should be pretty decent. Now, what really worries me about this game is that, everyone's worried about the offense. I'm actually worried about the Chiefs' defense, and I'm glad to be worried because I'm starting them in fantasy. So hopefully they see off on us. But here's what I'm worried about. So the Chiefs' defense, they run a lot of cover zero. Remember last time we went up into a team that ran a bunch of cover zero blitz? Remember what happened then?
Yeah, Sam got blasted. That was the IC Ghost game, yeah.
Yeah, that was a nightmare, man.
Yeah, that
So we
is.
should
Go
empty
ahead.
backfield.
Hmm.
We're going to see a ton of probably empty backfield with, well, Gase isn't calling the plays, but he'll probably tell Gallo to do it or something. Yeah, it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah. Well, when you look at that situation, and it's great that you brought that up, the fact that the Chiefs defense, because that's what I wanted to talk to you about as well. They've got some guys that can rush the passer, Clark and Jones and stuff like that. These guys can get after it. So to me, doesn't that also lend itself to you having to utilize P. Ryan in the running game? Shouldn't we see a healthy dose just to keep them honest? Because you talked about the zero blitz. These guys are just going to bring the house. You got to find some way to keep them honest so that if they're going to pull that stuff, you let them know, hey, we may maybe work a little play action off of that and then able to get some scores downfield because people get fooled. So shouldn't we also see P. Ryan heavily utilized in this game too?
Yeah, but I have a feeling it's going to be like the Cincinnati game all over again, and you're going to be just running P. Ryan straight at Chris Jones.
Man.
And it's going to be a nightmare. Hopefully they run some outside runs away from the good defenders, which just blows my mind that they're just running these guys straight at them. Man, I can't wait for the freaking Rams game, man. We're going to be running Gore straight at Aaron Donald. Man.
It's crazy, man.
We got our savior, Dowell Loggins, man. Dowell Loggins is the future.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going from challenge flag coordinator to head coach. He's basically the head coach now. And I think, so is Gase demoted to challenge flag coordinator now?
Man, it looks like that's what it is, because he's just kind of,
play sheet.
yeah, he's just kind of, moving his head around over there and kind of standing over there once the plays are called. But I mean, with Loggins calling the plays this week, I just need him to make adjustments in that second half. I absolutely do. Yeah. But to go to the defensive side of the ball with you, man, I'm looking at the weapons that the Chiefs have, and I'm saying there's some guys you definitely got to figure out how to take away. And for me, it's like, I don't want to see Travis Kelce have a gigantic game in this game whatsoever. And so I want to get your thoughts on this. How would you take away Kelce? Are you a guy that's looking to say, hey, we should bracket him, we should double him, we should do something to keep this guy from having a big game? How would you do that?
I'd say put Marcus May on him, but he got toasted by Jordan Reed, so Travis Kelce is obviously the better player. Yeah. So I'm worried about that. Maybe he can bounce back. Maybe Ashton Davis. McDougal, thank God, isn't playing. Sucks he's hurt or whatever. I don't want to wish injury on guys, but I finally we're going to get to see Ashton Davis play. Maybe put him on him. What I'm worried about, man, is, dude, we're going to have Tyreek Hill versus Pierre this year.
Man.
Oh, no.
What a matchup.
Terrible.
That's the matchup that I'm worried about as well. You look at Tyreek Hill, that dude's a monster, and you got him matched up on Pierre this year. He's going to roast him. He's going to completely roast him. And I'm scared about what's going to happen there. But I mean, you gotta play who's out there. You gotta take your shots. But another thing that I'm worried about too, and I want to get your thoughts on this, is Mahomes using his feet to get outside the pocket and make plays. We've seen him do that. Utilize his ability to run and his athletic ability time and time again. How concerned are you about that?
Oh, I'm not concerned one bit because you won't need to do it because there's no pass rush. I'll just be standing back there for 20 seconds, just chilling, and then he sees a guy in the end zone, and he's like, you right there, man. You could probably call out their name and be like, no, Tyreek. And Pierre Desir will probably be 50 yards away, and he'll just lob it up there.
Oh, man.
And I'm being really negative right now, but this is going to happen.
Hey, man, it is what it is. And I want to thank you for calling in, Elias, man. My final question for you is, give me your final prediction for this football game.
So at first I thought it would be 49-10, but I think the Chiefs are going to kind of, they're going to run the ball more. Recently they just wanting to, take their foot off the brake, or put their foot on the brake. And I think Bell is going to, hopefully he's like, yo, Andy, can I have this game? And he's going to go off on us. I'd love to see that because, guys, don't forget, we had an offensive genius who somehow couldn't figure out how to use this guy.
Oh,
but
man.
He's washed. You can't use him. But, I think Adam Gase knows best. We hired a guy who got fired after 3 years being with the worst offenses in the league. So that clearly shows you offensive genius. Yeah. So I think our offensive genius is going to show Lev Bell up, be like, hey, man, even Andy Reid can't use you. Yeah, that's not happening. He's going to go off on us. So final score prediction, I would say maybe like 42 to 10, like maybe some garbage time points.
Oh man. Well, listen, I want to thank you for calling.
More than 4 yards in the second half. That's all I ask. More than 4 yards in the second half.
Listen, I want to thank you for calling in, Elias, man. It was great to speak to you. I understand, 42 to 10, that's your prediction for the Chiefs, but it's tough, man. This team it's not looking so good, and I understand everyone's frustration, but I want to thank you for calling in, man. You have a good night.
You too, man.
Whew, Elias calling in with the fire as well. Elias says 42 to 10. Wow. I mean, people are bringing the heat, man. People are bringing the heat right now. People are down on this football team. It kind of is what it is, especially when you look into the situation, how this team is set up, the talent that we have here, and we're going against a juggernaut in the Chiefs right now. So I'm going to keep going to these lines. 612, I'm coming directly to you. I want to get your thoughts on this Chiefs game that we have coming up, the Jets, man. What are you expecting from the offense, and what are your thoughts about Darryl Loggins calling the offensive plays yet again this week?
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to say I think what we're witnessing is that the Jets are playing, three-dimensional chess here, in the sense of when most people on the outside would look at the organization and say, why in the world are you allowing the most incompetent coach maybe in NFL history to run your team and have a horrible play caller and a totally dysfunctional roster and just an abysmal mess. But then you realize they're doing it on purpose. You know what I mean? That's what's so genius about it, because the Jets realize that this year's number one pick is going to be extremely valuable, whether it's drafting Trevor Lawrence or another quarterback or getting a king's ransom for that pick. Either way, it's going to put them in a great position this offseason. And so they realize by keeping Adam Gase as the head coach, they're guaranteed to get the number one pick. There's no way they're not going to get it. Yeah. So it's a genius play by them, to be honest. I think it's fantastic. But as far as this game coming up, I think they're going to lose 56-3. I think it's going to be a struggle to keep them. Just keeping it real. It's the Chiefs. I mean, what are we talking about? Come on.
Oh my God! Go ahead. It was. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was really kind of skeptical on them getting to 3, but I was like, okay, they're probably going to get a couple garbage plays in the game, and they might get a field goal in. But on the defense side of the ball, it's going to be a nightmare. I think the Chiefs might hit 35 before halftime. And the only reason I stopped at 56 is because I thought the Chiefs would take out their starters by the fourth quarter. Otherwise, if they kept them in the whole game, they're going to break 60, might even get to 72.
Wow.
But,
before you keep going, first off, I want to thank you for calling in. You're spitting the fire right now. And I want to go back to what you were talking about earlier about Adam Gase and keeping him here and getting that pick. I hear people, kind of throwing around a lot of theories and things like that. But the thing is about that, too, is by keeping Adam Gase here, you're also costing yourself as well, because you're pretty much wasting a lot of potential of the offensive players, right? We're talking about that every single week, aren't we? We talk about Sam Darnold. Here's a guy, he was literally brought in here to save or to elevate his play, right? That was the whole deal. He's an offensive guru. He's going to figure, out how to utilize Sam effectively. The scheme is going to be fit all around Sam. We're going to see Sam Darnold ascend to one of the best quarterbacks in the league, because we all said, hey, we have the talent. It's just that Jeremy Bates, Todd Bowles have no clue of what they're doing. And that's why they sold us Adam Gase and how he was an offensive genius and all these other things. So if you keep Adam Gase here and you keep him here as a head coach, aren't you just hurting Sam Darnold in the long run? Because basically what he's doing, he's not able to utilize him effectively. Hell, he couldn't utilize Le'Veon Bell effectively. So that, I understand. I just don't. And I understand why Jets fans think that, but truly why I think that Adam Gase is still here. I think it's because Chris Johnson, the Johnsons as a whole, are so incompetent and so egotistical that they will not fire this guy, because everyone else knew that he had no business being a coach here. Everybody. I'm talking everybody outside of the mainstream media and the stiffs that literally were caping for him, that now they've all turned on him as well. But everybody in the fan base was screaming, do not hire that guy. And when they did, everyone was screaming, we cannot believe you hired that guy. And they just don't want to admit we made a gigantic mistake and we have put this, the future of this franchise in serious danger with this move. I mean, that's my thoughts on that. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't underestimate these guys in the sense of their intelligence and where they're coming from. I think they understood about a year into Gase, last year, they figured that this was a total mess. It's not going to work.
Yep.
And I think look the big picture. I mean, look at the roster. The roster is devoid of good young talent. You have a lot of guys in their mid to late 20s that clearly don't have that much potential. So they realize they're going to have to engage in a massive overhaul and rebuild starting this offseason. And to really get that going, they needed to get good draft picks. And in my opinion, I think they've already known Darnold's done. They've given up on him, right? He might be able to work somewhere else, but just here, it's just not going to happen. So I think they've already made the commitment to go after Trevor Lawrence or whatever, good young QB they find potentially in the draft, and they're going to go a different route. They're going to start over. Yeah. But on a bigger note, I mean, think of it like this. If they were to fire Gase now, okay, let's just say they did, because it's obvious they need to. They know it. I mean, these guys are not idiots, okay? They didn't get that job without having some kind of common sense to them, and they absolutely know and they can tell this guy's a disaster. If they were to fire him, let's say they elevate, the defensive coordinator to be the head coach, what are the chances the Jets get the number one pick?
I mean, I still think we'd probably, end up with the worst record of the season, even if they fire him, because I just don't think that we have enough. I just don't.
You don't need to get a bump?
No.
The whole coaching change?
No, because here's why I don't think they'll get a bump. And I'm gonna after this, we're definitely gonna get into the game because I definitely want to talk to you about this Chiefs matchup. But I mean, say you were to fire Adam Gase, who would be the offensive coordinator? Loggins? Do you think he's any better than Gase? He's the guy working with Gase. He exactly what we saw last year and coming into this season was what? Lack of adjustments, lack of being able to utilize the offensive personnel correctly, and a lack of understanding how to help Sam Darnold along during games and utilize his skill set, right? And when we saw that consistently, mainly, especially this year, where we would come in, scripting plays, outside of the scripted plays, in the second half, we would fall off of a cliff. That was like that was the narrative. So many games we saw that. Well, if you look at the first game coached by Loggins, that's exactly what you saw. You saw the exact same stuff. Outside of like the motions and things in the first half, which as you could clearly see, and I've been talking about in this program for the longest time, when you move guys around, it makes it a lot harder for a defense to just track you. That's why so many offensive geniuses around this league use motion. Like it's really simple. It's not that hard. Like I'm not a rocket science here, right? But the second that the Bills made an adjustment in that second half, the second that they saw, okay, we see what you're doing. Sean McDermott went back and said, okay, I see what you're doing. Let's do this. I'll tell you what, forget all this. Let's just blitz the crap out of you. That's exactly what they did. They just said, oh, well, whatever. We're just going to blitz the crap out of you because we know you can't handle that. And that's exactly what they did, and there was no adjustment. So we just got 8-0. And that's going to bring me back into this game with you because I'm very concerned in this game that this Chiefs pass rush, which is ferocious, that they'll get after Sam Darnold. And I'm wondering, how concerned are you that we'll see another game where Darnold won't have anywhere to go, he'll have no room to breathe, and the pocket will just collapse on him and he'll get destroyed?
Right. Yeah, I mean, as far as this game from him, the over-under for me as far as passing yards is 150. And I think they'll be lucky to crack 150. I don't think it's going to happen.
Damn.
At this point, let's just hope the guy comes out of the game healthy. I'm not kidding. I'm dead serious on that. I really fear for the kid's health, and I think for his career and just his mental state and his everything, he needs to leave the Jets this offseason. You can see he's got the happy feet. You can tell when a quarterback, mentally isn't there anymore. When they got that little happy feet thing, when you can tell they're like overly aware of the pass rush.
Yeah.
Because the great quarterbacks, they act like the pass rush is not even there. Their whole demeanor, the way their movement, even everything, they act like it's not. They just have that sixth sense to feel when the pass rush comes. Otherwise, they barely react to it. But as far as this game goes, I'm less worried about the offense. I'm more looking at the defense and what the hell are they going to do against Mahomes? Because honestly, how many touchdown passes do you think the Chiefs are going to have? Honestly, like if the over/under is say 5,
yeah,
are you taking the over or the under?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I don't know. I think they'll run the ball quite a bit. So I'll go under. I'll say they'll probably throw about 3 or 4, but I think they're going to run the ball a lot. I think it's going to be them running the ball a lot, and I think maybe Andy Reid makes it a point to utilize Le'Veon Bell in this game just to kind of send a little bit of a message. I know that's not his beef, but a little bit of a message like, okay. And I'm pretty sure that Le'Veon has come up to him this week and said, hey, listen, dog, I understand you got a back, and I understand, this is a team game, but, let me do my work because I want to show him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that's going to be a play. But, man, I got – go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I was just saying, especially if they get a big lead early.
Yeah.
In the second half, they might just give it the Bell the whole second half.
Yep. So I can see that.
But thank you, man. I appreciate you taking my call.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I want to thank you for calling in, man. It was phenomenal to speak to you. Next time I have my show, man, I want to hear from you for sure.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, brother. Stay strong.
All right, you have a good one. Woo, man, let me tell you something. Phenomenal caller there. Great to speak with him. Look, it's tough. It's tough. I know he said 56-3. I was blown away. I was blown away, man. Whoa. But I understand it. A lot of people look at this game and they're saying, hey, this team is just not equipped. And the Chiefs are coming in with weapons, and another weapon added, Le'Veon Bell. And you got Le'Veon coming in, looking, he's pissed. I know he's pissed. I know he's upset, and I know the vengeance. I mean, you could almost feel it, man. I know that he's gonna be ready. Yeah, and I'm talking about fully prepared to try to take our heads off. So, man, oh man, this Jets team better be prepared. So I'm going to get back to the callers in just a second. I'm going to go to the chat really quickly. My savages in the chat are going crazy. Aspiring filmmaker Holly, yo, salute to you. Aspiring filmmaker says, what up, Joe? Always enjoy your program. Thank you. Yo, salute to you, Holly, man. I want to thank everyone that's listening, everyone that watches me from, no matter what the platform is. You folks are the absolute best, and I want to thank y'all. Man, listen. Venom G's in the chat. Yo, salute to you, Venom G's. Venom G says Gay slipped his playbook for the second half. He's talking about Daryl Loggins. I mean, Venom, you bring up a great point, though. Like I said earlier as well, it just seems like, that this football team seems like it was coached by Adam Gase last week. I know they talked about, that Daryl Loggins was calling the plays, but it did not seem like that to me whatsoever. It really just seemed like another Adam Gase coach game. So, I'm going to get back to these callers. You know what I'm saying? Chat, my guys in the chat, the Savage in the chat, please keep going off. We're going to get to everybody again when you call in. Please do not curse on my show because I will get you out of here. I got quite a bit of callers. Please be patient. I'll get to every single one of you. So we're going to 973. 973, give me your thoughts on this upcoming game that the Jets have against the Chiefs. How are you feeling about it? And what are your thoughts about the Jets running the football hard with P. Ryan this week to kind of slow down this Chiefs offense?
Well, Joe, to be honest, I don't think anything can slow the Chiefs' offense. I mean, the Jets can't even measure up to that. I mean, what have they really got? I'll tell you what they got. Great, big, nothing. I mean, this has massacre written all over it. I mean, I've heard some predictions: 42-10, 56-3, 112-0. Oh wait, no, that's mine. It's just unbearable. Now, I don't know if they're actually trying to just tank up purposely to get to Trevor Lawrence. Because, first of all, Trevor Lawrence said, well, I don't know if I really want to go to the Jets. I'd rather go to a contender, not a pretender. So, if you think you're trying to, tank it purposely for him, don't bother. Because I don't think he's going to come. And every time we get a top draft pick, because we always get the first draft pick, it hasn't done anything for us. So why should that change?
Yeah. And again, I want to thank you.
Don't waste your time on him.
Yeah, I want to thank you for calling in. Look, I understand people talking about Trevor and, everyone's looking towards the future because his football team is so bad. But I want to talk to you a little bit about what we have currently here. And I'm looking at this situation with this matchup against the Chiefs. And if I'm Greg Williams, I'm very worried. The Chiefs have quite a bit of weapons. And so that's my question for you is, if you were Greg Williams, what Chiefs offensive weapon would concern you the most, though? Like, which one of those weapons are you the most worried about coming into this football game?
Like what you mean? Like the player wise.
Yeah, player wise on offense. Who are
you?
Who are you the most concerned with coming into this game? Is it Travis Kelce? Is it Tyreek Hill? Are you concerned about Mahomes and his him utilizing his feet? Are you worried about Le'Veon Bell burning you? Like, what are you worried about the most?
Well, Bell didn't want to be with the Jets anyway, so we can rule that out. But Cleese worries me. He always did. And Mahomes, of course, is just like a machine that's not running on any steam at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, forget Bell. He was just wasting space. So
wow.
Forget it.
Okay.
He didn't want to be with us anyway, so
Okay. Look, I hear you. I would be concerned with Travis Kelce as well. I mean, the Jets have a long history of not being able to cover, tight ends whatsoever. So I would be concerned with him too, quite a bit, especially when him matching up with our inside linebackers. But I want to get your thoughts on this. How concerned are you about the Chiefs just outright running the ball down our throats this entire game? Because we've seen that. We saw it from the Colts. We saw it from the Niners. I mean, we've literally let a lot of teams really just run the ball hard on us this year, and we just couldn't stop it. How concerned are you that the Chiefs will go to that style of football offensively?
Oh, we get that from the Colts and the 49ers. You can't believe they're going to run circles around the Jets this week. I mean, murder.
Oh, man. My final...
Because, the 49ers and the Colts are mediocre. They're not going to be powerhouses, but they're going to beat us. If they can beat us, the Chiefs are going to kill us.
Yeah. So my final question for you, man, is...
My head's spinning already.
Yeah. What is your final score prediction for this game against the Chiefs?
We're in 12-3. No. A little sarcasm. Well, I've heard some of the predictions. I think I gotta go right there with some of them. But I'm gonna meet in the middle. I'm gonna say 45-10.
Oh, 45-10. All right. Well, 45-10.
I think 56 is a little bit high for Kansas City, even though they can score. I think it's just a little too high.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for calling in, man. It was great to talk to you. I hear your prediction, so it is what it is, man. You have a good night.
So if you get a chance, feel free to call my show tomorrow if you can. I'd love to hear from you. It's called the Enhanced Sports Show. We're on. You're East Coast, right?
No. I'm on the West Coast. Go ahead, give us. Go ahead and throw out the all the information to your show and your social media.
It's called the Enhanced Sports Show. The time is 5 to 7 here on the East Coast. Since I'm based in New Jersey, the number to call is 512-543-4662. That number again, 512-543-4662. We'll cover the World Series. We'll go over injury reports from the NFL, as bad as they are. We'll tackle what's wrong with the Cowboys, and I know there's a lot of it. We'll have a lot of other interesting features as well. So if you got time tomorrow between 5 and 7 here on the East Coast, give a call.
All right. Well, you have a good night, man. It was great speaking to you.
Thank you, Joe.
All right. Have a good one. Whew, man, listen, we got quite a bit of callers. You heard his prediction. I mean, it was absolutely, people are 56-3, 42-10. Well, I think we had a 40-something-0 earlier. People are, they're giving their takes, man. They're giving their takes, and nobody's picking the Jets. Let me tell you, it is what it is. When you have a team that's set up the way it's set up, the way we're set up, you have a team coached the way we're coached. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to pick this football team right now. It really, really is. I'm going to come back to the callers in a second. I got to go to the chat really quickly. My savages in the chat are going crazy. They're going absolutely crazy. Man, Jamal Damon in the chat. Salute to you again, Jamal. Jamal says, Brandon Mann, that's our punter. Brandon Mann offensive scheme might be in play this Sunday. Oh, the old Brandon Mann scheme. Punt, punt, punt. We might see that. We might absolutely see that constantly in this upcoming game. But that's what's important about this game as well. The Jets have to come out. They have to start fast, and they have to keep drives going. We've had issues in the past continuing drives. I mean, just a couple of games ago, we had 2 third-down conversions the entire game, and our first one didn't come into the fourth quarter. You cannot do that against the Chiefs. You cannot play like that against them. You've got to be able to consistently keep drives going. You got to be able to move the chains. You cannot get behind on them, because if you do, you're going to get your doors blown off. That's what's going to happen. I'm telling you, you're going to get your doors blown off. So I'm going to get back to these callers. Salute to everybody again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639. Call in and let me know your thoughts about the Chiefs versus Jets. How do you feel about this football team right now? That's what we're talking, man. It's tough. So I'm going to come to the next caller. Caller, I want to get your thoughts on this upcoming game against the Chiefs. And do you think that this is a game where we'll see Sam Darnold be allowed to just throw the ball around and really open up the offense? How do you feel about that, caller?
Hey, Joe, what's up? It's Brandon again. Sorry I haven't called in a couple of weeks.
No, it's all. First off, man, I want to thank you for calling in, Brandon. It's good to hear from you, man. Hey, anytime you can, please call in. You know what I'm saying? I love hearing from you. It's no issues whatsoever. When you look at this matchup, though, with the Chiefs, man, there's quite a bit of issues. There's quite a bit of issues. This is an offensive juggernaut.
For sure.
That we're going in and we're facing. And the first thing that I'm thinking is, listen, this Jets offense has got to get it together. Like, we've got to start fast. We've got to go. We've got to be able to try our best to match that intensity. And my first thought is they've got to open up this playbook and allow Sam Darnold to really throw the football down the field and get it going. We've got to let them know that we will take that shot. We will. You're not going to push us. You're not going to punk us. You're not going to push us into a corner. We'll do it. What are your thoughts about that?
I agree. I feel like we have to take deep shots. We haven't really seen really deep throws, like 30-plus yarders.
Yeah.
I want to see Mims get the ball more.
Yep.
P. Ryan, for sure. I want to see the running game to be more effective. Mekhi Becton's in the game, right? He's not ruled out?
Yeah, no, he's playing.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure about that.
Yeah.
I hope the pressure's not too bad for Sam Darnold. I hope he doesn't get hurt. I hope he's not running for his life or anything like that.
Oh, that's that's big, and I'm worried about that as well, Brandon. You bring up a great point. Is these Chiefs, they got some pass rushers now. They got some guys that can get after it. Jones and Clark, and they got some other guys that can rush the passer too. And like you said,
exactly.
It's gonna be extremely important for this offensive line to hold up. And, not have Sam out there running for his life, not have guys breathing down his neck by the time that he takes the snap. He's got to be able to be comfortable back there in the pocket so that he can, be able to decipher it and make the play and be able to throw the football around. But another guy that you brought up as well that I think is going to be a big part of that due to the fact that Perryman and Crowder are not going to be playing is Mims. You talked about him a lot. You said, hey, we need to get the ball in his hands. How many yards do you think he'll have in this football game, and do you think he'll have a touchdown?
I'm not too sure if he will get a touchdown, but I think he'll get at least 40 to 50 yards receiving. I think that's a decent range for him. I hope it's more, though. I hope he gets a touchdown. I'll be rooting for him, of course.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about P. Ryan, man? Do you think he'll be utilized effectively in this football game? And do you think that we should run the football hard at the Kansas City Chiefs as well?
I think he has a better chance of scoring. I think maybe with some more pitches. I think he has a better chance of scoring a touchdown.
Yeah.
I think they're going to stick to the running game more than passing it, I feel like, until late in the fourth quarter or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe some screens too with him.
Yeah. And now going to the defensive side of the ball, looks like McDougal's going to be out as well, so we're going to be missing a starting safety. Maybe Austin Davis is probably going to fill in there. What are your thoughts about him in that role, and are you concerned about the Chiefs targeting him?
I can't really say because we haven't really seen much of Ashton Davis this whole year. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, he's dealt with injuries.
I'm more curious to see how he's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, he's go ahead.
He has potential, but again, we don't have much film on him.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. It sucks that McDougal's out, but I'm looking forward to it in a way. They could target him more, for sure.
Yeah. How concerned are you with Tyreek Hill? Because that matchup with him, probably on Pierre this year,
this
Whew,
year.
doesn't that scare you?
Yeah.
I mean, whoa. You're talking about a quick touchdown. I mean, that could end up being quite a couple quick touchdowns. I mean, what are your thoughts on that matchup?
That has a big chance of being ugly, for sure. Tyreek's speed alone, whew, I don't even want to think about it. Hopefully we're proven wrong, but it just says ugly all over it.
Yeah.
We'll see, though.
How fired up do you think Le'Veon Bell is going to be, man? What are your thoughts about facing him? What are your thoughts about, him coming out and just being absolutely ready to tear our heads off?
Yeah, they're gonna utilize him effectively, especially in this game. I feel like Mahomes is gonna get like a lot of passes to him as well, and it'd be so ironic. He's gonna get a touchdown against us too. I feel like he's gonna get like his first touchdown as a Chief in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, Brandon. Listen, again, I want to thank you for calling in, man. My final question for you is, what is your final score prediction for this Jets game against the Chiefs?
I'm going to say along the lines of 34-6.
Ooh, 34-6 Chiefs. All right. Well, Brandon, man, again, I want to thank you for calling in. Go ahead.
Hopefully I'm wrong, though. We'll see.
Yeah.
I want to say one more thing up before you go to the next caller.
Yeah, go ahead.
Whenever the day comes when Adam Gase gets fired, whenever you upload that video, whenever he gets fired, I better see you in a party hat. I want to see confetti. It's going to be a celebration, man. I'm looking forward to that day when Adam Gase finally gets fired.
Listen.
Whether it's mid-season, the end of the season, I want to see a paper party hat on, confetti, balloons,
man,
everything. Man.
Listen, the hell with all that. I might buy myself a cake. I might actually buy a cake. we might sit there, eat cake, ice cream. Oh man, it's gonna be a good one. Oh, it's gonna be a good one. His ass needs to go, but believe me. Yeah, we will celebrate. But I want to thank you for calling in, Brandon. I got to get back to the rest of these callers, man. It was phenomenal to speak to you. Next time I have a show, I need to hear from you, man. You're a hell of a caller.
Of course. Until next time. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. Oh, man. Brandon calling in with the fire. Okay. Calling in with the fire. Listen, whenever Gaze is gone, which should be soon, we're definitely going to have a celebration, okay? That guy needs to get the hell out of here as fast as possible. Fast as possible. Must go. Must go. I'm going to get back to the callers in just a second. I got to talk to my savages in the chat, man. My savages in the chat are going crazy, all right? So I'll get back to the callers in just a second. Christopher Cancel, salute to you, Christopher. Christopher Cancel says, hey, Joe, you want to take that W? Take the Amtrak to KC. Lock Adam Gase in the locker room and take over the team. Perhaps you will get the W. Listen, I think I can be a better coach than Adam Gase. You know what I'm saying? Don't y'all think that? I mean, hey, I'd make adjustments. I'd make an adjustment in the second half. You know what I'm saying? I absolutely would. You wouldn't have to worry about me. You wouldn't have to worry about me. I would definitely make the adjustment, and I would definitely utilize Sam Darnold way more effectively. Jamal in the chat, salute to you again, Jamal. Jamal says, in all seriousness, the Jets should be able to at least put up some points against the Chiefs secondary minus the Honey Badger. Listen, that's a big thing for me as well, and it's great that you brought up that point, Jamal. I look at this situation, I'm saying, look, even if the Jets don't get a W in this football game, you got to come out and look competitive. Don't come out and just lay down and let the Chiefs just blow you out the building. You can't have that, man. You can't have that. You can't come out, look uncompetitive, look lifeless, look like you don't belong in the league. That's completely ridiculous. This team has got to put up some fight, and that's what I want to see. Even if the Jets don't win, I want to see you come out, look like you have a fighting bone in your body, and do whatever you can to put some fight into the game, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't get killed. Don't come out, look lifeless, look unprepared, and look ridiculous. That's just completely ridiculous. So I'm getting back to the callers. Again, 515-602-9639. Please call in. Love talking to all you folks. Do not call into my show cursing. I will get you out of here as soon as possible. As soon as possible, okay? I mean, fast. Faster than other teams can make adjustments to our garbage-ass offense. Fast. Fast. It happens so fast. So I want to get back to these callers. And now I got my guy. You know what I'm saying? A guy that I love speaking to every single week. Steve is on the line. You know what I'm saying? He's calling in. And I want to get your thoughts on this, Steve. You look at this team we got going, you know what I'm saying, we coming up against the Chiefs. And guess what? Le'Veon Bell, you can already tell he's ready to go. How concerned are you that Le'Veon is really just going to lay into the Jets in this football game?
Well, I'll tell you something right now, Joe, and for all of you Jets fans that are listening to this, unfortunately, this is going to be the bad news on Sunday. We're going to die, okay? We're going to die on Sunday, okay? We're going to die, unfortunately. I mean, it's just, listen, the way how I look at this game, listen, you got one of the greatest quarterbacks right now in the game in Patrick Mahomes. You got Travis Kelce. You've got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You've got Le'Veon Bell. Listen, Andy Reid is going to – Le'Veon Bell is going to tell Andy Reid, I want you to put me on the field against this team. I mean, this was a team that let me go, and now it's time for me to prove to them of why you should have never let me go. Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, obviously Le'Veon wanted to get out of there because of Adam Gase. It's just and the other worst part is on Sunday is that we got to watch that buffoon Adam Gase on the sideline again. I mean, and his clown sidekick Daryl Lowing calling the play calling. Unfortunately.
Yeah, first off, Steve, I want to thank you for calling in. Man, you're spitting fire already. You know, like you said, I can see, you know, Le'Veon telling Andy Reid, listen, I understand, you know, this is a team game and everything, but, you know, give me a workload, coach. Let me show them, you know, let me show the rest of the league, let me show the Jets, you know, what I'm really about and how, you know, I can really still turn up in this in this league, you know what I mean? So, you know, I'm worried. I'm worried about Le'Veon Bell, but another guy that I'm worried about is Travis Kelce. How concerned are you about him, Steve, going into this football game? Because the Jets have a long history of not being able to cover tight ends properly.
Well, unfortunately, there's some bad news I got to tell you about that, Joe. Unfortunately, I have both Mahomes and Kelce on my fantasy team starting this week.
Oh, so you good. So you good. That's basically what you're telling us. You good, huh? So everything's fine. You know what I'm saying? As long as they go off, I'm good. I'm trying to win my matchup this week.
Oh, listen, here is the thing. Travis Kelce, to me, is a very young version of a Rob Gronkowski of that team. I mean, he is a young version of Rob Gronkowski. And the thing is about him is he's big, he's physical, and unfortunately the problem is with our linebacking crew, we still can't cover, unfortunately, the tight end, unfortunately. It's just, unfortunately, it's probably going to be a tough game, and this could be a big game for Kelce to have this year. Yeah. The other concern is about going into this game is, I mean, listen, we're going into one of the toughest stadiums to play in the National Football League, in Arrowhead Stadium. I mean, listen, Arrowhead Stadium, listen, they're not going to have a full capacity. I mean, they are going to have some fans, but not a full capacity. I mean, listen, if we are going to be playing in front of a full Arrowhead Stadium, it would be a nightmare. We wouldn't even survive after this game. The biggest thing, though, that I just also want to see the Jets do in this game is I want to see the offensive rookies, you know, get more reps in this game. Like we saw in the first half last week with Michael Pirine and Denzel Mims. Listen, I'm a big Denzel Mims guy. I listen, back on draft night, I loved that pick by Joe Douglas. Listen, I know everyone else said that Mekhi Becton was every Jet fan favorite pick, but listen, Denzel Mims was my favorite pick in our draft this past year. I would like to see Darnold throw the ball to Mims. Like, I want to see Mims get the experience against a pretty good, decent defense against Kansas City. I mean, listen, Kansas City is not the best defensive football, but they have talent on that team. I mean, you mentioned earlier about that. Listen, besides the Honey Badger on that team and Tyrann Mathieu, Their secondary is like that's the weakest part of their defense. I would like to see Sam throw the ball. I mean, listen, no Crowder, no Brashard Perriman. I mean, I feel bad that Crowder's not playing, but listen, Brashard Perriman, I could give two craps. I mean, listen, I don't like to say he deserves to be injured, but Perriman sucks, okay?
Oh, come on.
Perriman sucks. I'm sorry.
I hear you, Steve. Listen, Steve. I hear you. I hear your frustration, but you know, he's dealing with what he's dealing with right now. But like you said, Perryman, Crowder, they're both going to be out, so we're definitely going to look to see what Mims is going to give us. But there's also a guy that I'm wondering. Okay, when are we going to see Herndon? Like at some point, do you think that this is a game, especially with all the injuries that we have at wide receiver? You know, where we're looking to see what Mims has and all these other things. Isn't this a game where we could finally see Herndon kind of come alive at some point? Do you think that this is a game where we'll finally see him do something this season?
Well, the first thing that Herndon needs to do is he's got to get open and catch the ball. That's the first thing he needs to do. But but the thing is, like this is a game that not only for Chris Herndon, but Ryan Griffin's got to get in this game too. I mean, When are we using these tight ends?
Yeah.
When are we using these tight ends? I mean, is this going back to the Chan Gailey days for crying out loud? It's just the thing is, Joe, it's just, listen, out of all the years I've been a Jets fan, and listen, you've been a fan longer than I have. I mean, listen, I wasn't a fan back in 1995 or 1996 when Rich Cotty or whatever what his last name was, when he coached that 1-15 team. Listen, I understand. Yeah, it's just, listen, this is the worst Jets season I have ever seen in my whole entire life as a Jets fan. I thought at first that maybe 2016 was the worst or 2014 was the worst, but 2020 is the worst season I've ever seen.
Yeah. It's pretty bad, Steve. I mean, this season is definitely, you know, it's exposed a lot of issues that this team, not only this team, but this franchise has had. A lot of things, you know, it's coming to the forefront, you know, and we're paying the consequences for a lot of bad decisions that we've made in the past. But you're just sticking with this game, talking about paying the consequences. We've seen this team also be heavily penalized throughout this year, too, in certain games. Do you think that this is a game where you could see the Jets come out and kind of clean up a lot of those issues, you know, to keep from giving the Chiefs extended drives and things like that, roughing the passers and stuff? Do you think that this is a game where the Jets can come out and play a really clean game and not get penalized?
You know, I mean, listen, they did that last week against Buffalo. And the thing I will give them credit from last week when they did play against Buffalo, they actually did play a very good competitive game against the Bills. Yeah. I will give them credit on that. It's just, unfortunately, I mean, the thing was last week, we didn't let Buffalo get into the end zone, but unfortunately, we ended up giving up 6 field goals, and our offense really couldn't do anything until when we got to the second half. But the thing is, though, like, if the Jets could do that, like what they didn't do last week against Buffalo, is not commit a lot of penalties. I mean, listen, Buffalo committed a lot of penalties against us last week. Like, I remember last week, they were making the mistakes last week that they did again, that we've been doing all season. But the thing is, though, going back to it, we can't, the thing is, like, you can't commit penalties, especially against this Kansas City team.
Yeah.
Because listen, you got, like before, you got Patrick Mahomes, who's literally the quarterback of the AFC right now. Like, listen, this guy is legit the quarterback of the AFC. And I mean, you got Andy Reid, who is considered one of the greatest coaches. But the thing that I know what Jet fans are saying this week, that this could be a preview of Eric Bieniemy being the next head coach for the Jets. Listen, we just got to see what happens. Listen, the Johnsons are clueless. I don't know what's going to happen if they're going to fire Adam Gase either maybe after this game, or listen, they're not going to fire him after the game. They're either going to fire him until the end of the season. But I'm going to say this right now: if this clown buffoon coach Adam Gase does not get fired at the end of the season, hell is going to break loose on Twitter and Jets Nation.
Yeah, it is. It is. And, you know, Eric B., you know, we'll see what happens going forward with him, you know, because there are certain people that are pretty excited about him, but we'll see what happens going forward. And we'll see if he ends up being
Joe,
our coach. Yeah, go
Joe,
ahead.
Hey, Joe, by the way, before I tell you my final score prediction,
Mm-hmm.
remember how every Jets fan said that they wanted Mike McCarthy? And
Mm-hmm.
look at what happened to him in Dallas.
Yeah,
Look at what happened to him in Dallas.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that kind of shapes up as well. There's some issues on that football team, but just sticking with us here, we've got some issues here. We got quite a bit of issues here, you know what I'm saying? But you brought the fire, Steven. Again, I want to thank you for calling in, man. What is your final score prediction for this game against the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, listen, I hope I'm going to be proven wrong, but I don't think I'm not going to be because, unfortunately, this is the goddamn Jets, unfortunately. All right.
That's
My
true.
final score of the game is I'm going to go this is unfortunately going to be another loss. We go 0-8. I'm going to have to say 34-13. But something, listen, the one thing I want to see Sam do is I want to see him progress in this game. I just want to see the Jets play some competitive football like they did last week against Buffalo. If they can play competitive football and even come out of this game with the loss, you know what? I'll take it.
Yeah. And again, I want to thank you for calling in, Steve, man. It was phenomenal to speak to you. Next time I have a show, man, I want to hear from you. I love talking to you about this Jets team on a weekly basis, my brother.
Yep. All right, Joe. Thank you very much, and good night.
All right, you have a good one. Man, Steve calling in with the fire, you know what I'm saying? And, his prediction, again, has the Chiefs. I don't think anyone's taking the Jets tonight at all. Nobody has, And, again, it's because, hey, this team's bad. This team's pretty bad. So we're going to keep going to the callers. Got quite a bit of callers that, are coming in. So next caller, I want to speak to you. I want to hear your thoughts about this Jets football team. I want to get your thoughts about them with this matchup to the Kansas City Chiefs. How do you feel, what are your thoughts about Sam Darnold, and do you think that he'll be able to really be effective in this football game against the Chiefs?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
What's going on, my friend? How are you feeling today? What are your thoughts on this Kansas City Chiefs matchup, and what are your thoughts on Sam Darnold in this matchup?
Well, I mean, with Darnold, it's kind of a thing of, okay, you got it would be like if you bought a car for your child and child lets one of your friends drive the car. So you're just looking at it as, okay, Adam Gase is in control of this kid. We just don't want him to break him.
Yeah.
So if possibly you're switching quarterbacks next year, or if you go forward with Darnold. So that's my major concern with him. Don't mess this kid up too much with your incompetence. But look, I'm down here in Atlanta, man. We want y'all to win. So we want whatever miracle to happen because we messed up and won last night. So, whatever y'all can do, sports books be damned, the line be damned. Whatever y'all can do to get a win, man, I would appreciate it. You know what I mean? I want the rebuild to start down here, and they are fighting it.
Yeah. Well, look, first off, I want to thank you for calling in. You know what I'm saying? It's good to hear from someone, that's not necessarily a Jets fan. I love talking to other, fans of other football teams that are looking at our team from the outside in, and they have comments as well. So, again, it's great to talk to you. Listen, I hear what you're saying, though, about, Adam Gase. Everyone's kind of saying the same thing as, man, what a situation we put Sam Darnold in where this kid showed flashes. We saw things, and then Gase comes in and he just doesn't look the same. There's issues. A lot of people talk about his mechanics left and right. A lot of people talking about these things. But what we also talk about is the lack of playmaking ability around him, the lack of protection. Of course, the coaching is horrific, but we talk about that on a weekly basis. And if you look at this week, we're going into this football game. No Crowder, no Perryman. Denzel Mims is a young kid that we're looking forward to. They're not necessarily utilizing him correctly. They didn't utilize him effectively in the last week's game. What are your thoughts about him from the outside looking in? And do you think that this kid is talented enough to possibly become our number 1 and number 2 wide receiver?
No, yeah, we'd have to see a lot more to see what he actually is. But just coming into the season, you remember how everybody crowed about the Jets draft, and this is one of the reasons why. So it's going to be interesting to see him get some snaps now. Maybe with Crowder out, they won't just force targets to Crowder all night and let everybody else kind of touch the ball and see what they can do.
Yeah.
But overall, dude, the biggest problem with somebody like Adam Gase is this. It's what you don't know now. Because when you have somebody like Sam Darnold for a few years, the biggest thing you want to know is, okay, do we have our guy or should we draft someone? So when you're drafting as high as you guys are, the biggest problem you can have is the unknown. So now, is this Adam Gates incompetence, or is the kid actually good? And if you just put someone there who knows what they're doing, things will improve. So that's the biggest, stumbling block to me with the whole Gates thing. Now, organizationally, it looks like you guys are taking the route of the next hire is going to be a big hire, and we're going to let them determine a lot of personnel and everything else. And I think that's kind of why they let Gates kind of stay on, because they're not trying to do the interim thing for a while. They're just trying to do normalcy until we can just ship out the whole regime. So that's a good way of thinking as far as forward thinking. And to all you Jets fans who are yelling at everybody about trading Jamal Adams, you like those draft picks now, don't you? Like you see, like no matter how good a player is in the NFL, multiple draft picks are always better than that player. There are going to be few cases, you know what I'm saying, where it's not better to trade the player.
Listen,
you see what I'm saying?
First off, I was the guy that bared the brunt of that, of those screams. My ears, I'm still recovering. You know what I'm saying? They blew my eardrums out because I was the guy that was screaming to trade him. And I said, hey, he's a box safety, and people everybody just came right down on me. You know what I mean? But hey, like you said, we're loving the draft picks. We're loving the capital. We're loving the flexibility that move gave us, especially with the situation that went down. But you spoke about something earlier, and I've been trying to hammer that point home consistently, with different people, regardless of who I speak with in the fan base, is the problem with having Adam Gase here, the problem that we have now, like you said, is the uncertainty, the question mark surrounding Sam Darnold. And I don't think people really understand that, is because, listen, for years we had an issue where we had no franchise guy. We were stranded in the desert looking for a quarterback, and we were trying to figure out, hey, who's the guy that's going to lead us? And you finally get a guy that's showing you, oh, this kid might be really good, and then you bring a guy in here, like you said, that puts you in limbo. Again, you're in purgatory where you're wondering, is he that good? Or is he that bad? And, whose fault is it? Is it Gaze, or is this kid just not talented? And now look at us. Look at where we're at. Now, we're in a position where we're trying to figure out.
You can't even take the risk on them.
Exactly. And so, and that's where a lot of people are, where they're like, hey, we don't even want to take the risk. We're just willing to move on. And it's like, whoa, that's just that hire set this franchise back years. And I keep telling people this, and I don't think they really understand. That hire alone, bringing in Adam Gase, has set this franchise back years because it set back the development of Sam Darnold. It's unreal. Just completely unreal.
How far you can go when you walk into meetings with a whole bunch of Peyton Manning stories. You can kind of put people to your side and convince them of things that you're not capable of doing. But overall, though, man, you guys got a rebuild going, so that's the great thing. Down here in Atlanta, people are still kind of unsure and don't want to go full in on the rebuild. I'm hoping they finally buy in and we can start this thing over. But my last question for you, though, before you go to the next person. Herndon, man. Like, I saw good things from Herndon years ago. We all thought he was a young tight end who was going to be really promising.
Yep.
Yeah, what's up with this dude? Like,
I'll let you know what's up. I'll let you know exactly what's up with him. You talked about it. We saw flashes, and I told people about him before coming in. And I want to thank you for calling in. I told people about this guy before coming into this season. Everybody was hyped. They were calling him. There were people that were literally messaging me saying, hey, he's going to be our Travis Kelce. He's going to be this. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. First off, there've been a whole hell of a lot of injuries with him outside of the suspension where he's missed quite a bit of time. We've only seen flashes. He's got to be more consistent, dude. He is dropping footballs left and right. And I understand that he's not necessarily being utilized effectively as he should be within the scheme. Adam Gase and his deals with tight ends, you can go back to when he was dealing with Mike Gesicki, where people thought that Mike Gesicki wasn't that good. And the second that Adam Gase left, we saw a different Mike Gesicki. You know what I'm saying? So, again, with him, you got to wonder, hey, is it the scheme? Is it this? But even when the ball is being put in his hands, there's been throws where Sam Darnold has literally hit this guy in the hands, and he's just dropping it left and right. I mean, it's just insane. He cannot catch a football. So, who knows what's going to happen with him going forward, but the future's not looking promising, especially not with him, because this is the guy that cannot catch. He can't catch. So We'll see what happens. But before I let you go, let me get your final score prediction for this Jets-Chiefs game. How do you think it turns out?
Well, just know this. If it doesn't go the way Vegas said it's going to go, I'll be crying. But, yeah, I'm betting this huge college-like point spread, and I'm betting on the Chiefs to just blow the doors off. Like, you don't see point spreads like this in professional. Like, no. Yeah. This is supposed to be a directional state university against a Power 5. Like, that is a crazy point spread, man.
Yeah.
But, I'm all in on it. So, if you guys beat it, hey, man, just know you took an Atlanta fan's money because I'm going in, bro.
All right, man. I'm going to keep going to these calls. I want to thank you for calling in, my friend. Listen, the next show I have, I want to hear from you, man. You're a heck of a guy to speak to. I love talking to you.
Must do.
All right, you have a good one. Peace. Oh, man, listen, we got quite a bit of people calling in. It's always good to hear from other people outside this fan base that love to, talk about the Jets as well and love to chit-chat. But I'm going to keep going with these callers. Again, my guys in the chat, I will be coming to you, soon. So please keep chatting on my savages in the chat. 315, I'm coming directly to you. I want to get your thoughts on this game coming up. The Kansas City Chiefs. The Jets are facing the Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of things going on. What are your thoughts on Le'Veon Bell, running up against us again? Do you think this guy is going to come in determined and with a whole hell of a lot of vengeance to really burn us?
Hey.
Caller? Yes, it's on you. I can hear you.
Long-time Jets fan here since the 19...
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Long-time Jets fan here since the 1980s.
Ooh.
I thought I sat through the worst season in 1996, was it?
Yeah.
But Le'Veon Bell, he's going to run all over us. Score's going to be wild. But I'm not going to focus on the negative in this call.
Yeah, no, listen.
This season's over. all the Jets fans need to realize, this season's over. Quit complaining about it. It's done.
Well, first off, I want to thank you for calling in. Look, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Le'Veon Bell, I do think he'll come in with the vengeance. I think he's going to run hard. I think they're going to try to find him try to find ways to get him the football. But I'm looking at our football team right now, and I'm saying, okay, we're matching up with a Kansas City Chiefs team that is an offensive juggernaut. I mean, this team is serious business. I mean, they're not joking. They got a great offensive mind, a true offensive genius in Andy Reid. And we have to try to match them. We do. We have to try to, get the football out of Sam Darnold's hands fast. We've got to find ways to also take shots down the field. And that's what leads me to think, hey, is this a game where you think that Sam will be throwing the football down the field quite a bit and just trying to open up the offense just to let the Chiefs know, hey, we will take that shot. Please respect us.
Oh, I hear you. And I'm hoping to see something out of Denzel Mims.
Yeah.
But aside from that, what I think Jets fans need to look forward to outside this season, next season they got the most cap space out of any team, I believe.
Yeah.
The year after that.
Well, I think the Jags are up there too.
We also had the most cap space. Yeah. So I think once they dropped Gase, everyone knew it was a bad hire from the beginning. But we need to look forward to the future. We need to just watch and laugh this season because it's bad.
Well, and I hear what you're saying, and I understand, you're saying, hey, look at the future, but a lot of the things that we're talking about right now can help or hinder our future because, people want to see Sam Darnold be able to grow and mature as a quarterback here because guess what? If you have a quarterback, then you don't have to go looking for one. Right? Just the same way that I just got done talking with the other caller. Yeah, we were talking about Chris Herndon, which, Chris Herndon is, seems like he's not a guy that we can really depend on. But guess what? So that means you got to go look for a tight end. We're talking about wide receivers now. Outside of Mims, we're wondering we might have to go look for a wide receiver. So I understand what you're saying, and I hear you. But it's like, man, when you're watching this team week in and week out, it's tough. It's really, really tough. And so that leads me to my next question for you is when you look at this defense, I'm looking at the matchup of Tyreek Hill and Pierre Desir, and I'm wondering, it scares me. Does it concern you as much as it concerns me about this guy matched up with Desir?
Absolutely. It's funny how these players, we got Tremaine Johnson. He looked great in St. Louis. We get him, he's a joke. I don't know if he's washed up or early or what.
Yeah.
Then we get Pierre Desir, who looked good in Indy. Comes here, what's going on? Is it just players stop playing when they get to New York? I don't understand.
They sign with us, and it's like, oh, well, I'm done.
Yeah, like, we're not going to win any of them. Who cares?
Yeah.
Just collect my money.
Yeah. It's tough, man. It's really tough.
One thing about, okay, I know everyone wants to tank for Trevor, but do we need to? I think Sam Darnold is a great, talented quarterback. Get him the right tools, get him the right coach, get a solid offensive line that's not putting him on his back every other play, running for his life.
Yeah.
Although he does stuff very well on the run. Do we need Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah. Well, if you ask me, all right, I don't think we do. And I've been a big proponent of this, and I'm going to keep talking about it because I like to get my takes out there early. You know what I mean? Because, I don't want anybody to say, hey, you took my take, or no. Listen, I'm a big fan of trading down and acquiring talent for this football team because we have bigger needs than just Trevor Lawrence. If we get Trevor Lawrence on this team, we'll still struggle. He's going to get hit a lot. We're going to have issues, right? So I look at it like this. We got Sam Darnold going into the fifth-year option. I say we pick it up. I say we trade down, get a king's ransom for Trevor Lawrence. I've heard certain analysts say that we can get 2 to 3 first-round picks, a bunch of mid-round picks, all that stuff, a bunch of second-rounders, third-rounders. I'll take that in a heartbeat. And I'll build this football team up around my franchise quarterback. I don't give a damn about the defense. We poured into the defense for years. You go back and look at our last 10 years of our first round picks from our draft. I think like 2 of them are offensive players and the rest of them are defense. That's why we're so bad here. You know what I'm saying? And it was a bunch of interior offensive linemen. Oh God. But, so if you go look at those things, you got to better your offense. And that's what I would do. I would take it and I would really pour into the offense. And guess what? It also works as a backup plan too, folks, because say you look at this situation and figure out, Sam Darnold isn't the guy. Guess what? The next quarterback you draft, he's going to need weapons. He's going to need protection. He's going to need, to go out there and be able to effectively do his job. So it works for the next quarterback. You can move on from Sam Darnold and you won't fall off of a cliff because you'll have a bunch of offensive talent around there, guys that can get the job done. So that's my take on that. But my final question for you is, man, because I got to hit these lines because these callers are, man, it's steaming hot here. What is your final score prediction for this game against the Kansas City Chiefs?
I've been going back and forth. My heart tells me that the Jets are going to try to be a competent team this week, but my mind is telling me it's going to be 38, at the most 17.
Okay. 38-17 Chiefs. Okay. Callers got again. Listen, man, I want to thank you for calling in. It was great to speak with you. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, my friend. You're one heck of a Jets fan and one heck of a caller.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
All right. You have a good night.
You too.
Whew, what a caller. Great call. Calling in, letting us know what he thought about this matchup. And I understand a lot of fans are frustrated. Like he said, we're going to laugh. We're going to laugh and we're going to try to have, we're just going to laugh at the team the rest of the year. A lot of fans are looking towards the future as well. Man, it is what it is. I'm going to go to the chat really quickly. Salute to all the savages in the chat, just chatting it up, letting us know. Venom G's in the chat says, as soon as Gaze is gone, Herndon is going to ball. Look. I know a lot of people that are thinking like that. A lot of players that in the past that have moved on from Adam Gase have gotten better. You know what I'm saying? We talk about Ryan Tannehill. We talk about all these people on a weekly basis that are getting better after Adam Gase is gone. And I could, maybe that happens there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get back to these callers really quickly. 718, I'm coming directly to you. I want to get your thoughts on this matchup with the Chiefs. And what are your thoughts about Mims? Do you think he is able to be utilized effectively this week in this week's game?
Hello?
Yeah, hello, caller. You're on the line. I want to talk to you about Denzel Mims.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about Denzel Mims. What are your thoughts about him being utilized in this football game with all the other injuries that we have? Along our offense, Crowder and Perryman not being out there. Do you think Mims gets a heavy part of the workload?
All right. Before I answer your question, let me just introduce myself. This is Roach from the Savage Chat.
Okay, let's go, Roach. Let them know.
That's good, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, I gotta say, for all the listeners out there, yo, thank God for this man, because if it wasn't for him streaming those games, man, you know, like those Sundays, whoo, it was rough watching the Jets play. Whew.
It was, bro. It was, Roach. It was so rough.
I gotta just put this out there. You know, I just want to say, I don't blame Joe Douglas for what's happening for this Jets season. You know, if you want to blame the one culprit in all of this, I believe it was Jamal Adams, because when Jamal Adams left, they lowballed Robbie, and then Mosley decided to opt out. Douglas probably said, you know what do I really have here?
Yeah.
You know, and then both of the players was already injured.
Yeah. Well, my thing, and I hear you, Roach. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Roach, and I agree to a certain extent. I think the real person that is to blame for the issues here with the roster, does Joe Douglas share a bit of the blame? I believe he does a little bit, and it's because here's why. Here's why, though. Here's why, Roach, is I believe he does. I believe he does because we went into the draft with major needs at offense, and I understand, people look back at that draft, but let me tell you, that quarterback and Zugia, those picks are questionable, especially when you're looking at the situation from we needed wide receiver help. Yeah, and there were so many wide receivers. But the biggest part of the blame, let me make this very clear. I am not blaming Joe Douglas for everything that happened. I am not. Because the big part of the blame was on Mike McCagnon, and it is on the Johnsons. I'm talking squarely. The way that they handled the general manager, that it was atrocious. To give Mike McCagnon, that final draft and that free agency before firing him like 2 weeks after or 3 weeks after, whatever, that was horrific. And let me tell you folks why, and Roach brought up an amazing point. It's because a lot of the issues that we're having right now with our money being tied up, the draft picks, the issues there, guys not working out, even some of the guys that have been rumored to, we're trying to move on from, those were guys that McCagnon brought in. And if we would have had Joe Douglas or a different general manager, we wouldn't be so tied up for the future. That was the issue. That's why we released Le'Veon Bell and all. Oh, there's just so many issues. Go ahead.
It's like me giving you my Jaguar and said, all right, it's yours. And then you crash it and then just return it to me talking about, well, I'm like, what?
Let me go ahead, man.
That keep saying, like, let's tank for Trevor, right? I don't believe that, because here's the thing why I'm a believer with Sam, right?
Yeah.
How many quarterbacks do you know can actually go toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers, even though the game didn't matter? But that was a spectacular game, right?
Mm-hmm.
It went to overtime. And you saw the tenacity of Sam, right?
Yeah.
And then they say Trevor Lawrence, he's like the next Andrew Luck. Well, I remember Sam Darnold playing the Colts and Andrew Luck, and who won that game?
Listen.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't think Sam is the problem. I think what we need is, like, always the edge rusher. Like, I think Williams, he's definitely, on point. I think some of the pieces Joe picked was actually good picks. I mean, overall. hell, for 2 weeks, the punter was, like, probably our best player. I think you hit jackpot on that, if you ask me. Listen, I was about to buy a man jersey,
But you keeping it real. You speaking the facts, Roach. Listen, for a while, man, what might have been our best player a couple of weeks. Yeah, it was crazy.
Think about it. Look how Mims was shining, right?
Yeah.
They already figured out. They was like, nah, this dude Mims, man, he looks dangerous. So let's double coverage him, right?
Yeah.
So now they shut him out in the second half, and then it's like, yo, you know what? The more I think the new players are starting to gel in, like Period, I think they're starting to understand their role, and I do believe that Joe do believe in Sam only because, think about it, right? If you had a job that was like dangerous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever hear of a boss tell your parents, listen, I'm going to do whatever I can to protect them?
Yeah.
I've never heard that. So like I said, I still have faith Because even with this, like with Mims, I think these guys is going to shine. That's what I wanted. I wanted to see these new guys just come in and start contributing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think overall, I have faith in Sam. I think because of the talk or whatever, Sam, and this is the Jets. And we all know the history of the Jets.
Yeah.
We never get the draft like we wanted. We wanted Sam, but, you know, overall, we don't get, like, it's like, oh, we're going to go 0-16. Did you see that Buffalo's game? Like, although I thought it was going to be a blowout, to be honest with you, they actually held the Bills. I mean, they couldn't score, yeah, but, you know, overall, I was actually proud. Like, that first half, I really thought that Gates took the play call back in the half, talking about you making me look bad. I don't know, but
yeah. I mean, we looked really rough in that game, Roach. We did. I mean, to get beat by a team that couldn't score a touchdown was horrific. But Roach, listen, it's great speaking to you, man. Please call in again. But my last question for you is this, man. My last question for you is this: what is your final score prediction for this game against the Kansas City Chiefs?
To be honest with you, I'm going to go 28-16.
Oh, 28-16. Okay.
Chiefs favor.
Okay. 28-16.
You know, the Jets always somehow, always put up a fight. Like, when you look at Desir, it's like, oh, this guy's incompetent. But he catches interceptions, so you never know. Any given Sunday, right, Joe?
You're right. There's times where he does get lucky. We talked about that. There was a game earlier this season where he got lucky. He was getting cooked the entire game and got, 2 lucky interceptions. So, who knows? But again, I want to go ahead.
Le'Veon Bell do run, but I mean, even though I will be cheering for Bell, but I mean, it's the Jets. Even if they're losing, I can't see my team lose. You know, they play with your emotions. You know that, Joe.
Yeah. I know what it is. But again, Roach, I want to thank you for calling in, my man. It was great to speak to you, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm saying thank you for taking my call and for all the savages on the chat. Just keep doing your thing. You know, it's like a family, and I love this community we're building, man. You know, we only suffer together, right?
That's a fact. All right, you have a good night, Roach, man. Listen, next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, my man. I want you to call in.
No, definitely. Don't worry about it, bro. I got you.
All right. You have a good one. Woo, Roach calling in. A lot of passion, a lot of fire. Salute to him, man. And salute to the savages in the chat. You know what I mean? It's good to talk to y'all. Y'all call in. You know what I mean? I love talking to y'all. I love, we all Jets fans. It's tough, but, we got to stick together. Again, 515-602-9639. Please call in. We got, a little bit of time left on the show. I'm going to keep going to these callers, though. 917, I'm coming to you. Oh, man, I want to get your thoughts on this week's matchups with the Kansas City Chiefs. How are you feeling about it? How worried are you about Le'Veon Bell coming in, head full of steam, clearly upset about us cutting him and ready to show us the deal?
Oh, man, Joe, what's going on? This Venom G's from
Venom G's, another savage. I'm
telling you, Le'Veon is going to eat, man. I know he's going to go up to Andy and say, yo, give me the damn ball.
Man.
Give me the damn ball.
Bro.
That's all he's going to say. It's like, and this is the game where Le'Veon get his 25 carries, 2 touchdowns. I think he's going back to the Steelers Le'Veon in this game, man.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy. I do expect them to utilize. First off, Venom, I want to thank you for calling in. You know I love talking to you, man. Listen, Le'Veon, they're going to find some way to put the ball in his hands. I fully expect that. And like you said, I expect Le'Veon to go up to them and be like, yo, give me the damn ball this week, because I'm about to really rip this team wide open, especially when you look at the issues that we've had stopping other teams running the football. Le'Veon knows us. Like, he's been here. He knows the weaknesses of our defense. He knows, a lot of stuff. I'm hoping that we changed up the defensive calls and things like that. He might even be able to, show them some of the calls that we have as well to identify things that we're doing defensively to take advantage of us. And that leads me to my next question with you, Venom. Man, this matchup with Tyreek Hill and Pierre Desir, nightmare for me. How worried are you about Tyreek Hill just going crazy?
Oh, my God. He's going to get roasted. Damn Devere, damn, that's his name, damn Devere. Every time somebody, a player's on him, I say damn Devere because I know he's almost there with making the catch, and he's gonna get roasted. They got Hardman, they got Watkins, they got so many weapons. Kelsey, like you said before, who you gonna stop?
Yeah.
If you double anybody, Hill is going to take it to the house. And then if they put Le'Veon in the passing game, they're going to do everything Adam Gase should have done with Le'Veon. Yeah. And they're going to show everything this week. Like, okay, this is what y'all guys should have done with him. This is what y'all should have ran with him. And they got Osemele on the line. And I know he's going to want to eat too. He's going to be like, okay, this is me healthy. Man. You know, so this is going to be a homecoming for both of them, and they're going to want to show out.
Yeah. I know Osemele's dealing with an injury right now, but like you said, a lot of those guys, man, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. You know, you talked about Bell. They also got another young running back as well. That's phenomenal. I mean, that dude looks like a veteran in this league. He's making jump cuts. They can utilize him too. But another guy's Mahomes, man. I'm worried about him using his feet to extend plays too and really making us pay there.
Oh, my God.
I mean, man. Oh, my God. I just...
We see it every week. We go against all the explosive quarterbacks. It's like, damn, we just left...
and we get cooked.
Quarterback, and he cooked us.
Oh
man,
God.
Josh Allen come in and cook us 2 times. And it's just ridiculous. This is like, we just get trashed every week.
Every week.
I don't see a win in sight.
Every week, Venom. I want to go to the offensive side of the ball with you, man, because we talked about the Chiefs and what they bring to the table, but man, you look at this situation, Perryman, Crowder out. What do you expect out of Mims, man? How many yards do you think you'll have, and do you think you'll have a touchdown?
I don't think he'll get a touchdown. I think he's going to get some yards. I think he's going to with 4 quarters, he got to get about 60 yards, maybe 80 at tops, I think. I don't think he's nothing compared to Robbie, man, but I think he's going to get, some yards out there. I think they're going to underestimate him, and he's going to be pulling some catches, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough.
But I think as a whole, man, I know everybody's predicting high. I got to follow suit. I got to follow suit.
Give me your prediction, man. Give me your final prediction. Give me your final score prediction.
This is going to be another thrash, and we get spanked every week. So I think the last week they did a little bit better than I anticipated with the Bills, man.
Okay.
So I think this one is going to be probably 12-38.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's reasonable. Compared to who we're going against. So I think it'll be 38-12. All field goals. We're taking all field goals. No touchdown. All field goals.
All field goals. Oh my goodness.
Field goals. I don't see one touchdown because look at the separation. I don't see anybody that could beat anybody on the defense from our offenses, the wide receivers, tight ends. The tight end's been invisible this whole year.
Yeah.
Our line is, oh my God.
Outside of Becton is suspect.
I see what's going to happen to Sam. Yeah.
Oh my
I don't
God.
want to see what's going to happen to Sam this week because you got premier players over there in Kansas City, man.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's a long Sunday.
It is, man. It's going to be a long-ass Sunday. Listen. Well, Venom, man, I want to thank you for calling in, man.
Get your predictions.
Oh, go ahead.
Get your predictions before we leave.
Oh, well,
I want to get your prediction on this game.
Well, listen.
Because I know I see you laugh. I see you laugh at everybody else's prediction, but I don't know what's your prediction.
Listen, Venom.
It's just that as crazy as ours.
Yeah, it's not going to be good, man. I look at the matchups. I look at the wide receivers. I love Mims. I think he's going to, be utilized. But again, the Kansas City is gonna make an adjustment. They know we not coming in there with Crowder or Perryman or any of those guys, so they're gonna be like, okay, well, we'll just double Mims, and what else you got? After that, Le'Veon Bell's gone. You know what I'm saying? So he's gone. So who else you got? Go ahead.
And I think just because the team that we saw in the first half was drastically different than we saw in all year.
Yeah.
So I think at some point Adam Gase came to Loggins at halftime and was like, yo, calm down, buddy. You can't make me look bad. So, here's the plays he's running for this half. Here's the damn plays. Run these.
Man.
And it seemed like it was old Adam Gase's playbook again.
Yeah.
So that's why I keep thinking, like, he was in Loggins' ear at halftime, like, yo, calm down.
Yeah.
You're looking too good.
How concerned are you about how
get back to spanking the joint up.
Yeah, that's I'll tell you what, it did look like a Adam Gase coach team after that half, because we came out dead offensively. There was nothing we could do after they made the adjustment. But I want to get your thoughts on this. This is my final question for you, G's. How concerned are you about the Jets coming out and committing a lot of penalties? Because we've seen that in the past too. We played really good teams and we just gave them more and more yards off of roughing the passers and just other stupid penalties that we had. How concerned are you about that coming into this game against the Chiefs?
Man, I think it's going to happen again. It's just so undisciplined. And, luckily, me or you ain't the head coach, because I know all these players would have been traded already.
Yep.
Quentin Williams, every week I would have had his ass on the trading block. Like, come get him, man. I don't need this headache. But it seems like every week we keep shooting ourselves in the foot. We keep giving the ball back to the other team. It's just ridiculous. I hope you live stream this Sunday so we can have fun.
Yeah. Well,
eat some burgers, man.
Oh, well, for sure. For sure. I'm gonna be there. We gonna definitely watch the game and just have fun. You know what I'm saying? And enjoy ourselves. But geez, I gotta keep going, man. I want to thank you for calling in, my friend. Next time I have a show, bro, please call in. I love hearing from you, man.
Definitely, bro. All the savages, savage up, and see you on Sunday, Joe.
Absolutely. See you then, my friend. You have a good one.
You too.
Man, listen. Venom G's straight out the chat, straight from the Savage. Savage. You hear him? Roach, Venom G's right after him. Savages. Two damn savages. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I'm going to go into my prediction really quickly. I know Venom G's, I touched on it a little bit with him. Again, I want to thank everybody for calling in, man. It was phenomenal to speak with everybody tonight. Listen, I look at this game right here, and I'm seeing this situation with the Chiefs, and I'm saying that this is a football team that is, they got every weapon in the book. They're so unbelievably explosive. You make a couple mistakes against this football team, you'll be down by 40. Easy. They could put up 40 in a quarter and a half. I've seen them come back from, I think they were down like 20-something points at one point in the playoffs to, I think it was the Texans, and they came back like it was nothing. Like it just, those leads really don't matter like against them. They're so explosive. They have so many weapons. They're so well coached as well, particularly offensively. Whew, it's ridiculous. So I do think that the Jets defense is going to struggle. I definitely think, Le'Veon Bell is going to be implemented in this football game. That's what I predict. I predict that you're going to see heavy usage of Le'Veon Bell, and that he's going to, not just be running the football, but I think especially coming out the backfield. They're going to utilize him that way too. Maybe bring him out wide. He might just run some routes out the backfield too. Match him up with our inside linebackers because we have issues there. They might find a way to isolate Ashton Davis on him too, to really, let me show the young kid what time it is. We'll definitely see that. I think Tyreek Hill, that matchup with Pierre Desir. Listen, I know Halloween is tomorrow. Whew, this is going to be the scariest thing you've ever seen. You want to talk about a horror show? Wait until you see this, this movie we got coming on Sunday. Okay, because this is going to be, I know it's the day after Halloween, but, the spooky spirit is going to keep on rolling, you know what I mean? So I think we're going to have issues slowing them down defensively, and I think it's going to really break our backs, and I think offensively we're going to have issues keeping up. Because like I said, and I've made it a point, I think to be competitive in this football game, we've got to push the football downfield. Because if we're not doing that, then we have to run the ball effectively, and we have to find a way to bleed the clock to keep the Chiefs offense off the field and just kind of, work the clock down. A lot of like what people used to do against Peyton Manning, where you're just draining the clock because so many, the clock just keeps on ticking as you just continue to run the football down your throat. But I haven't seen us necessarily be effective doing that yet consistently for an entire game. So I think taking shots down the field, testing this Chiefs defense, letting them know, hey, you better stay honest. The play calling has got to be more creative than we've seen in the past, and we've got to do this for a full game. Because let me tell you something, you don't make adjustments against the Chiefs, they'll blow you out the building. They'll absolutely blow you out the building. So I'm looking to see Mims have a solid game. I definitely want to see P. Ryan get the ball in his hands quite a bit as well. I really want to see these young guys really come about, and I want to see Sam protected properly. We're not really worried about Becton as much as we are everybody else. I never bringing in George Fant and Alex, bringing back Alex Lewis and Van Roten. Those guys are garbage. Those guys are garbage, man. And we're starting to see it. And let me tell you something, this Chiefs pass rush with Clark and Chris Jones and the other guys they got, dude, they're going to get after it. They're going to get after it. So I'm just hoping to see Sam just protected adequately and that he don't get blasted and he's not running for his life all day. I understand sometimes things are going to break down, but please, I don't want to see him running for his life all night. You know what I mean? So with all that said, I am taking the Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs to beat the Jets 33-6. 33-6. I'm taking the Chiefs. It is what it is, so I'm going to go with the Chiefs. So, I know people are going to yell, going to have some issues with me, but it just kind of is what it is there. I'm taking the Chiefs. So it is what it is. So with that said, I want to thank you folks for watching. You folks are absolute greatest. I want to thank everybody for calling in as well. It was great to speak to everybody. So listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search Long Beach Joe Show, The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. I'm also on Twitter as well at YoungJ000. That's 3 zeros. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I am the troll that lives under the bridge. I will have my Darnold jersey on. I'm hoping that he's okay tomorrow and he don't get blasted. But you know what I'm saying? I will troll you right back on the troll that lives under that bridge. The show's page on Twitter is The Long Beach Joe. Please go over there and follow my show page as well. I love going back and forth with folks. I'm also on YouTube as well at Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets. You can go there, subscribe to my content on there as well. You want to troll me? No issues. I'll go back and forth with you in the comments. I'll troll you right back. And as always, people, when you see me in person, all right, when you see me, whenever you see me, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone, okay? Free hugs for everyone, you know what I'm saying? When it's time, outside of our, sometimes we got to keep our distance. We all know what's going on around here, but, you know what I'm saying? Outside of that, free hugs for everybody. Free virtual hugs, you know what I'm saying? For everybody, all right? It's a tough time. We all Jets fans. The hugs will always remain free, especially in these times. It's super tough, you know what I'm saying? It's super tough to think green and bleed green right now. Whew, it is tough. So I want to thank you folks for watching. You folks have a good one. Peace. Man, phenomenal. 1 second, folks. 1 second. One second. Make sure I'm back. All right. Again, listen, that was a great show. I want to thank everybody for calling in. It was phenomenal to speak to everybody. I will be live streaming Sunday. Sunday, we will have a show. I will be watching the game with y'all live on Sunday. And we will be doing a live radio show right after that game against the Chiefs. So please come back again. You know what I'm saying? I got to get out of here really quickly. Tony, salute to you, Tony. I saw your question. I had to keep going because I was doing the show. But Tony, yes, I do love MMA. Yes, I'm a big Khabib fan. I know that he's retired. Phenomenal fighter. Let me tell you something. Khabib was unbelievable. And I know a lot of people didn't like Khabib because Khabib was boring to everybody. He wasn't boring. He was just unbelievably technically sound. And a lot of people could not beat what he was bringing to the table. His stand-up was solid. But let me tell you something. He gets you to the ground. He was just a world-class wrestler. I mean, he could do everything. His jiu-jitsu was unbelievable. Like, that guy was phenomenal. And you know, I didn't think a lot of people were going to be able to beat him whatsoever. So I'm happy to see him retire. The last thing that I saw from him, he just choked out that last guy, and he moved on. He's retired. Do I think he'll come back and fight someone? I think if it's right, I know that there's a lot of other factors that go on, and I'm not, you know, we all know, you know, his religious preference and things like that. So there's things that he has to do. You know, he has to ask certain people and get the okay from his parents, which is completely understandable and respectable. But let me tell you something. Khabib is a monster. He is an absolute monster. And I was also thinking about, you know, as we continue on, everybody knows the Long Beach Joe Show is not just about the Jets. We also play video games on here when I can, when I have time. I would love to do that today, but I cannot. But we're definitely going to, you know, continue to work that in there. I want to play games with y'all and Madden and 2K and all this other stuff with y'all and have fun. But we're also going to watch, you know, MMA stuff and cover that too. So we're going to have a lot of fun with a lot of different stuff. The Long Beach Joe Show is not just only about the Jets. It's about, you know, just connecting with y'all and having a lot of fun. So we're definitely going to touch on a lot of different stuff, you know, a lot with me streaming and doing a lot of different stuff here. But we're going to have a lot of fun. Let me tell you something. I have a lot of stuff coming, but it's a lot of moving parts. I'm going to just say that right now. So yes, Tony, if you're watching, man, listen, I seen it. I love Khabib. Like, love Khabib. He's probably... him and BJ Penn are like two of my top favorite fighters. I know BJ is from a long, long time ago, but I love BJ Penn, man. Love that guy. So I want to thank everyone for watching again. I will be live streaming Sunday before the game. We're going to watch the game together, and then right after that, we're going to have a live radio show. If this is your first time watching me, you can hit the exclamation point links in the chat. That will bring up my link tree. My link tree has links to all of my social media. It has all my YouTube page as well, other content that I post. You folks can go down there and please subscribe to all those channels, turn on your notifications. Also, I know, you know, the month is almost over, but we're continuing to push. You know, I'm wearing that pink. I support the Suji G. Komen Foundation for the fight against breast cancer. Please go down there to that Suji G. Komen link and donate if you can. If you cannot donate, I have no issues with that whatsoever. Just please share it across your social media to continue to bring awareness to the fight against breast cancer, because that's what, you know, that's what I'm all about. Bringing the fight to breast cancer and doing whatever I can to continue to forward and push breast cancer research. So any way that you folks can get involved in those links is greatly appreciated. So, again, I'll be back Sunday. Okay, Sunday before the game. We're going to start that stream. We're going to watch the game together. And then after the game, again, we're going to have a live radio show. You can call in. And we're going to talk about what we saw. And, I hope it's not as bad as some people think it's going to be. I hope, you know, but... we'll see what happens. So I want to thank you folks for watching. I'm telling you folks make my day. I love connecting with y'all. I love talking to y'all. You know, love having fun with y'all. So you folks are the greatest. I'll see you folks Sunday.